Hey guys, it's Vampire Mike from SegaCDUniverse.com, and this is my Q&A responses, so my answers. I had posted up two videos. The first one was about a month back. Actually, it was exactly a month back, a month and a day. It was on the 24th of April, and I said, ask me anything you want, as long as it's not too crazy. I'll answer it on video and say your name. So all this is going to be off the cuff, so there might be a lot of thought. You might see some spaces in terms of me thinking, and it's gonna be off the cuff, so there's a chance that I'm saying something that is as true as I remember, but there could always be more to it. Like, say, what's your favorite whatever. There might be something else I added to that I just can't recall right now. So here we go. I'm gonna first start off with the second video. That was just a reminder that there was the first video, just to make sure anyone, to close out the questions. The first question is by TB46667, which is my friend Tom. What's up, Tom? Really nice guy. I have a question. Now that you have the mustache, are you going to grow a mullet like Solid Snake? No, I'm not. But I may grow a mullet like Snake Plissken. Real question. Will you be waiting to go next gen? If you guys saw my Xbox One little impressions video, yes, most definitely. I'm not happy the direction Xbox is taking, or Microsoft is taking, with what I've heard with the used games in terms of having to pay a fee. If you lend it out to someone, they have to pay a fee to play it. I also don't like that you have to log in once a day to connect so that your games kind of recertify. Again, these are both, I think, rumors right now, but they're leaning towards being truthful. I'm also not a big Kinect fan, so I don't really care to have to pay for a Kinect and then also have that thing on all the time. To me, it's more of a novelty to be able to talk to it and say, Xbox on, Xbox TV. I don't really care for all that. I buy a console to play games. So, yes, I'm most definitely waiting. I'm leaning towards the PS4 if I go anything. There's also this weird talk of a Sega Spectrum. Now, I have a feeling that's not going to be a console, but there's little bits of noise online that, let's see, Sega Spectrum, hold on. The quote translate, Sega Spectrum, a new world of entertainment, and there's a date on it of June 12th. So it's coming, I don't know what that means. I'm assuming it's some kind of digital service to maybe download classic titles or something, but that's just my guess. I have no idea. So yes, Tom, I am definitely waiting. Okay, next question. This is from my good friend Angelo from Pennsylvania. What's up, Ange? I've talked about him before. I met him on my website, SegaCDUniverse.com, years ago, and on YouTube we talk. I ended up going and visiting him, I think almost a year ago now. We had a really good time checking out the local stores in Pennsylvania and video game shops, and he gave me some games before I left. So I had a really good time. Him and his family treated me wonderfully. So his question is, I have a question. When did you grow that mustache? I think about 2 weeks ago now, week and a half. I'm going to have to start doing some manscaping, or whatever the fuck they call it, because it's getting a little unruly now. I got to kind of even it out. So that's two questions, 2 for 2, about my mustache. Next question. This is by Sonic Yoda from Sega Driven. Great guy. Check out his channel if you haven't. Excuse me if you've answered these in the past. Favorite band? I have a few, but this is going to really vary wildly. Tupac, in terms of rap. Thurston Howell III in terms of rap. Motown, I love Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. I can kind of go a little in the soul direction. I really can't call it Motown, but Marvin Gaye, Teddy Pendergrass, Al Green. I love Sade. I always say Sade, but I know that's wrong. It's Sade. There's some kind of rolling R in there that I can't pronounce. So Sade, you get the point. As for metal, I love Faith No More, Sisters of Mercy, Suicidal Tendencies, regular like pop. I love NXS. I like Cyndi Lauper and Debbie Harry in terms of like really pop. Well, Debbie Harry wasn't super poppy, but I'm a big Henry Rollins fan. I love Rollins Band and Black Flag, The Misfits, Danzig. Babe, did I miss any names of bands I like? I mean, I like Cypress Hill. There's some other guys I like, but those are my core favorites. Pain, Hypocrisy. Pain and Hypocrisy are both by the same guy, Peter Tägtgren. I buy all of his stuff. I didn't get the new album from Hypocrisy yet, but very, very heavy metal. I really like it. I like Vader. I don't know if I said that before. I like Godflesh. That's about it. I think, you know, now I'm getting more stuff I like that isn't my favorite. So, Faith No More. Also, I like Tomahawk. Anything Mike Patton does, I really like. I love Mike Patton's music. He's very varied. He can sing opera and stuff and falsetto, and then he goes into like screaming and rapping and stuff. So he does all types of stuff, and he's very, very eclectic. So I really like him. Favorite Sega CD game. This is a tough one. I love Snatcher. I also love Double Switch, Wirehead, Ground Zero Texas, Prize Fighter. I'm going to say probably Double Switch and Snatcher are my two favorites, with Wirehead close behind. Snatcher, just an amazing title. For a visual novel with like RPG sort of elements and like little tiny action sequences, it's a great story. Great story. Double Switch I love because I love Debbie Harry, I love Corey Haim, and just an interesting game. I enjoyed that one a lot. And I like Night Trap too. Favorite tattoo of mine. I have a lot, so I can't really say which one's like my favorite, but I'm really fond of my gorilla. If you go back in the past, I did a video called Things You're Addicted to Besides Video Games, and I said P.S. Gorilla nipple. So I got that tattoo because I'm a big Planet of the Apes fan and I wanted a gorilla. So over my chest I have a big gorilla. He's pretty pissed off looking, and I call him Urko, from General Urko from the TV series for the Planet of the Apes. And I have some of the signatures and stuff from the show and the movie. So I'm a big Planet of the Apes fan. So that's one of my favorites, even though I have others I love as well. What's the video you most enjoyed making? Probably this one. And this is pretty interesting to be able to kind of one-on-one answer these questions and stuff. Or not one-on-one, but you know what I'm saying. I think this is fun. And I like the here and now. So it has to be my favorite. Favorite handheld console ever? That'll do for now, he said. My favorite handheld console ever is the Vita. I know people say it's lacking games, but I have about 20, 15, or in that vein. I'd say about more like 20. Every one I have I really like. I mean, there's only been like one or two that I'm like, like Katamari Damacy and Little Deviants, and even those aren't bad. They're just not my favorite. Everything else, Uncharted I just beat the other day. Persona 4 Golden I beat last week, amazing. I beat Silent Hill, Book of Memories yesterday. I'm playing Ragnarok, Ragnarok Odyssey. I'm waiting for Phantasy Star to come. Bye, babe. She's going to work. What else am I playing on there? I'm playing a little bit of Dungeon Hunter, a little bit of Soul Sacrifice. Just got Blaze Blue, playing that a little bit. Street Fighter Cross Tekken. I mean, there's a nice amount of games on there. So I really enjoy the implementation of the social ability with Nier. Excuse me, my nose is really itchy. Oh, I don't want to blow my nose on camera. So, really enjoying the social implementation with Nier. I enjoy the network gameplay, the online games. The touchscreen capabilities are really cool. So I'm really loving the Vita. So the Vita is definitely my answer. It would have been the PSP had I not gotten the Vita. I also was a big fan of the Neo Geo Pocket Color. I sold mine about 2 years ago and I kind of regret it. I had about 30 games for it, but it was taking up space. I wasn't playing it that often. I had kind of beaten the games I wanted to beat, but there's like that Card Clash game with Capcom and SNK, that's really good. Dark Arms was pretty good. I think it's Ganbare Neo Pokun was kind of interesting. It was like a strange, random like simulator where you have this like alien type guy living in a room, and you have to like watch him and like poke at him and do different things, and he does different stuff and makes video games for you. It's very strange. So the Neo Geo Pocket Color I liked a lot. I was playing that up until recently, you know, a couple years ago. What were the? Let me go to the next question now. That was the last question from Sonic Yoda from Sega Driven. Now we have Shenmuso. I always mix up real names on YouTube. I'm good with usernames, but you know what? Hold on, let me blow my nose. Excuse me. Ugh. Oh, I didn't even blow. It was just itchy. Okay. What are the Shenmuso, aka I think it's Ben. I want to say his real name's Ben. Like I said, I'm really bad with real names, so I apologize if that's not your name, but I'm pretty sure it is. If it isn't, it should be. What were the top 3 concerts you ever went to? I saw Typo Negative before Peter Steele died. Very good. Great concert. Some assholes in the crowd were hassling this guy standing next to me, so that kind of sucked. I saw Rollins Band, which was my first concert ever, and I was 18. That was very good. But is that my... Yeah, I'd say that was great. You know what? My friend Keith and I got there, and we got up to the front, and we were up at the barricade. It sucked because people were pushing into us, and like people were crowd surfing, and they were like coming by us. It was, you know, I'm not big into like crowded, getting bumped into and all that stuff. That's not my bag at all. I don't like crowds. But the Rollins Band concert, Typo Negative was very good. I saw Sade. That was my last concert. That was very good. I saw Faith No More, but the crowd got too unruly for me, and I ended up kind of like walking all the way to the back, and totally killed the mood for me. I saw INXS after Michael Hutchence died. Amazing show, and John Stevens, who filled in, sounds and looked just like him in terms of his mannerisms. Excellent. It rained. It was a beautiful show. I met these people after the show that were involved with making like they were distributing the INXS live concerts. They had sent me discs and stuff afterwards of it. And I also saw Tomahawk, Mike Patton's other band, was awesome. And Black Flag I saw when they did the reunion show for Henry Rollins was fronting the band because he was primarily the singer, but they also had Keith Morris, the dude with the dreads, the white guy with the dreads, the older guy. He did a couple songs too. Okay, Stella, come here. And they had done that for the West Memphis 3, who had just gotten released. They did this previous to them being released. They were raising money for them. So that was a great show. So I'm going to say my top 3 are probably Tomahawk, INXS was great, and probably Rollins Band. Rollins Band too. Yeah, that was great. My first concert. Even during, in the middle of the concert, I went over to the guy selling the autographs. I said, "This is my first concert. Can you give me a 2-for-1 deal on the autographed CDs?" And he did. So I have 2 Henry Rollins CDs signed. I have a poster of him signed. So that's some cool stuff. But thanks, Shemusa. Good question. 16-Bit Brothers, my British brethren. Here's their question. If you could have one original arcade cabinet in your game room, what would it be? That's a tough one. First thing that came to mind was Mortal Kombat. Shit. I'd like to get something that's multiplayer. I can keep my attention. Like X-Men the arcade game is good, but now that I beat it on Xbox Live, I know it's kind of short. Oh, man. Mortal Kombat's fun. Street Fighter maybe. Pit Fighter. I don't know, something like that. Probably a fighting game. That's the first thing that comes to mind for some reason. I haven't played arcade games in years and years, but when I was a kid, I played them all the time. They just don't really have them in the area anymore, no arcades or anything like that. So, but I'd say probably like Mortal Kombat, the first one. Good question, by the way. This question's from SNES Mapper. Do you believe Shenmue 3 will ever come out? They had a little rumor about maybe Yu Suzuki doing a Kickstarter. And there's been a lot of interest in it as of late, so I wouldn't be surprised in the next 5 years if it does come out. But I'm kind of not holding my breath, I'm not 100% sure. So I think eventually it will. I have a good feeling it will. What are some of your most anticipated Vita releases? The big one I'm waiting on now, this is also SNES Mapper's question still, is Phantasy Star Online or Phantasy Star Universe, whatever the hell it's called. Big Phantasy Star fan. I love those Diablo type games where you can upgrade your guy and that things change during holidays and you meet people online. A couple other of my friends are waiting for it as well. I was kind of hoping Soul Sacrifice had that hub element like Phantasy Star does, or even Ragnarok. Well, Ragnarok really doesn't have the hub because it's just in the it's just in a pub. But more like Phantasy Star. That was really something like that. So Phantasy Star, the new one, definitely. I know Japan has it, and I think it's out on PC. Just need some espresso. Excuse me. All right. This is from my friend Sega Soldier. Sega Soldier is a friend of mine on YouTube and Facebook. It's my friend Spence. What's up, Spence? Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Probably Australia. That's my guess. And question B, where's Waldo? He's dead. He died of an overdose. I think he was smoking crack with the father from the Alf TV show. This question is from Iggy Hoderney. Do you like any old Nintendo consoles? And if so, which games? I just got a GameCube again recently for $7, and I picked up a bunch of GameCube games that I have a video coming out for, I think in a couple days. It's scheduled. I picked up like 15 or 20 games for like $1 each, 50 cents, a quarter from GameStop. They're doing 75% off, so go to your GameStop if you haven't for GameCube games. They got some good titles. But I wasn't a huge GameCube fan. It kind of stopped for me after the Super Nintendo. I had a 64, but I feel like it hasn't aged that well. I'm going to say Super Nintendo is one of my favorite consoles and my favorite Super Nintendo console. My favorite Super Nintendo games are Earthbound, Chrono Trigger, Shadowrun. The Link to the Past was very good. I like that one a lot. Those are probably my favorites. I think those still hold up. I think even if they did an HD rendition of those, cleaned up the graphics and made them nicer, the best RPGs I ever played still. Well, some of the best. Let me take that back because I have played a lot of the series. I love like Suikoden and Persona Golden was very, very good. So the best Super Nintendo, the best Final Fantasy. Oh, Final Fantasy 6/3. It was 3 in America. It's 6 everywhere else. That one too. So those are some of my favorite games on Super Nintendo. I also have fond memories of the original Nintendo. My grandparents had one when I was a child, and I got one. So I like the original Nintendo too. That's the one thing about a mustache. Every time you eat and drink, it's always like sitting on your face afterwards, like because of the mustache. Okay, this question's from Kit171. Have you ever played The Bouncer? And if you did you like it? I couldn't think of anything else really. Okay, I fucking love The Bouncer. It's one of my favorite PS2 games. I don't know why. The story's kind of interesting. It's intriguing. The anime kind of like cutscene style was really nice, especially for its time. The fighting was really cool. It kind of was like a 3D final fight. Sort of reminds me a little bit of Anarchy Reigns. Sort of reminds me of a lot of, in terms of the fighting, Spike Out Battle Street on the Xbox. I really like the Bouncer series. If you say to me, what's your favorite Square games? It would probably be like Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy 3/6, and the Bouncer. I love the Bouncer. I thought the universe was really interesting. I think they can go off into an RPG series still, a fighting game, a one-on-one fighting game, a beat 'em up. I would love to see that universe expanded upon. I know Grub Gun, you use that goddamn game as a fucking mouse pad, but it's a great game. I love the Bouncer. And now that I'm playing Anarchy Reigns, it keeps jogging my memory. It's just an interesting, great game. This is from PC from Dreamcastic channel. Question: who are you and what have you done with Mike? I guess he's referring to the mustache. Same old me, just got bored. Do crazy shit with facial hair when I get bored. Not even crazy. This one's from Mr. Retro Dreaming. What's your best game find ever in the wild? This isn't in the wild, but recently, this is on eBay or half.com. Well, I guess that's not the wild then, is it? That GameCube for $7 was pretty fucking good the other day. But on half.com, for $12 and for $30 together, I got Evil Twin on the Dreamcast, which was pretty good for $30. It's usually around the $50 range. It's a European-only release. And for $12, both from the same person, I got Evolution Eternal Dungeons on the Neo Geo Pocket Color, which I sold and made my money tenfold, because it is a super rare game. I've seen it go for almost $250 at points. They only made a certain amount of them, only came out in Europe. It's the only English rendition of that game. So that was my biggest, I would say. But it wasn't literally in the wild, it was on the internet. Okay, now let's go to the original video I did with the questions. Okay, here's Tom again with his username TB46667. Questions: what's your other passion besides games? I love tattoos. I love the art. I was learning to tattoo for a little while. I keep feeling like the camera's not straight. I was learning to tattoo for a short period of time. I was actually doing pretty good in terms of, I thought, my ability catching up to you know, my learning. But I had a falling out with the guy that was teaching me, and I got one finished up about a year ago. But after that, I haven't gotten one in a while. Besides games, I'm big into movies. I have about 800 DVDs and Blu-rays. I love movies. I like computers and stuff, technology. I read, but not as much as I used to. I have about like 5 favorite books, and I think I've reread them a couple times, but that's about it. I'm trying to think what else. I like getting autographs. Really just movies and games. And that's kind of the generic answer. If you could change anything you did to get your collection, what would you change and why? You did to get your collection. I spent a little bit more on my 3DO when I rebought it recently than I wanted to. I bought a 3DO with a bunch of games, about $120. And the guy ended up sending me a bunch of scratch games, half of which didn't work. So he sent me back $20. That was a little higher than I like to spend. I probably would have never gotten rid of my Saturn or my 3DO. I'm glad I never got rid of my Sega CD. And I really regretted getting rid of my Dreamcast, but now I've gotten 2 more consoles, and I've gotten a collection that's much better than the one I had. So I'm just buying now quality instead of quantity. So I'm okay now with what I have, even though I wish I didn't get rid of my Saturn. I had a Virtual Boy at one point, but that didn't really do much for me. The Neo Geo Pocket Color I kind of wish I didn't get rid of, even though I didn't really play it much anymore. Would you support Sega if they started making games again for the Sega CD and the Dreamcast, like an indie company? Yes. I haven't purchased any of the indie Dreamcast games because I don't like shmups that much, and most of them are that. Or they're like betas of like half-finished games or, you know, whatever. I have purchased all the GoodDealGames.com releases besides Frog Feast, which is just a pile of shit that OlderGames.com had put out. It's like a fucking Atari game. But GoodDealGames.com, check them out. They purchased a lot of games over the years and had sold them, and anytime they did it, they'd email me because I'm friendly with Michael Thomason, the owner. And I actually helped him recently get the Smurfs from a European translation. I transferred it to NTSC for him and sent him a disc, and he was able to start selling those. And my name's in the booklet. And Johnny Mnemonic, which was kind of a beta build because it wasn't compressed. That's on my channel if you want to check that out. But I helped him with both of those games. So I would say, yeah, oh, definitely. I love when companies find, excuse me again, man. Fucking tissue in my fucking facial hair. So I love when companies find old games and buy them and sell them under their own license. So yeah, definitely, I love that stuff. The Dreamcast, I just haven't. So like I said, I'm not a big shooting fan. Oh, I'm talking a lot, Jesus. Okay, Sega database. LOL, you got so many questions. Yes, I did, a lot more than I expected. Just the one for now. What's your favorite Mega CD PAL Japanese game not released in the USA? I'm probably going to say Shadowrun on the Mega Drive, Mega CD. That never came here. That looked really fucking cool. I kind of filmed a couple minutes of it on my PSP with an emulator. I think they should have transferred that over with translation, because that game looked awesome. It was like a visual novel mixed with like a Shining Force fighting system with RPG elements. So that's probably one of my favorites in terms of ones that haven't been released here. Excuse me one moment, I'm going to stop the recording for 1 second. And I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. The next question's from Gamer Emporium. How long have you been collecting games? I started really collecting for my Sega CD. My 2 friends, both named Nicky, had one. One when I was a kid, one when I was a little older. I was in my teens. And I think one of them sold me their system and some games or something at one point. I think it was the second Nicky, when I was older, obviously. And I just started buying the games. And then once, you know, I got a little older, I found eBay and started buying shit online, and then I got a full Sega CD collection. So when I really started collecting, I was probably about like 16 or so. Something like that. I used to buy stuff online all the time. Luckily I did, because now all those games are really expensive, like $100 to $400 and shit, like Mad Dog McCree 2 and like fucking Cobra Space Adventure and Kyo's Flying Squadron. That's crazy. So it's been a while now. I don't really collect as much. Now I just collect things I like, that I want to play. What do you do to support your hobby? I used to do computer work on the side, but it got so busy that it would eat into my weekends. I get calls constantly, all hours of the night, text messages, messages on Facebook. That was my like side gig, but I stopped that. I wanted more time with my wife and at home, and I couldn't handle it anymore. As for my main job, I work for a local government municipality, and I do tax exemptions for businesses and schools and stuff, in terms of them wanting to rebuild or move into our township. The easiest way for me to put it. It sounds boring, but it's pretty detailed and pretty interesting. Why did you start your channel on YouTube? Initially, I put up a bunch of like old Sega commercials that I found and 3DO commercials. Excuse me. We got the hiccups. And then I just started seeing people's videos, and I was like, you know what? I want to be able to speak a little bit on camera without being shy, which I'm not anymore, and just have fun and meet like-minded people and be able to talk and have friendships on the internet with people who are, you know, grew up during my time period, like Keithy Huntington has a great love for the Sega CD. My friend Angelo, the guy who asked the question, I think he was the first question or the second question. Because I met a lot of really great people. So my friend Mark from Graveside Entertainment, Mark and Dylan. Here's the next question. This is from Adam Korolik, who is the Dreamcast guru. Could you promote my channel in a hilariously comic fashion? No. Why not? Because you're a much bigger channel than I am. Will you forgive me for asking you? Yes, I forgive you. Game Master 14 Neo says, what is your favorite and most unfavorite Sega CD game? So I kind of touched upon this before. I'm saying my favorite Sega CD game is probably Double Switch, Snatcher. Those are my two favorites. Least favorite? Even the sports titles are better than that San Diego, the Zoo Animals. That's not really a game. Like that encyclopedia type shit, that multimedia crap they put out, or like that rock paintings disc they put out that was a CDG, where it was like fucking Jimi Hendrix playing like still images going by the screen. Not my bag. So probably that stuff. He also asked, what was the first Sega CD game you played, and where did you play? Friend's house, your house, a game store, etc. Sewer Shark. My friend Nicky, when I was about 8, maybe, I lived in the Bronx. I went to his house and he had it. And we were so, I always say it the same way, we were so like zoned in and blown away by the graphics in this game. Like, oh my god, we're controlling a fucking movie. It looks real. I still love Sewer Shark. I've beaten it maybe 10 times. I love the game. And we didn't realize that in the game, the guy in front of you is calling out things and they're blinking on the screen which way you have to go. If you go the wrong way, you crash into a wall and die. So we would just go in random ways. But that was my first Sega CD title I saw. Loved it. Was so, you know, into it. And that's how come I love Sega CD so much and have now, you know, collected all the titles for it. Which Sega CD unit do you like the most? I've never used the Laser Active, I've never used the XI or the CDX, but I want a CDX. They're just really expensive. I like the Model 2 Genesis and the Model 2 Sega CD. I always prefer top loading compared to the trays. I feel like there's less moving parts and hopefully it won't break. So I like them. I think they're a little more reliable, probably because they're a little newer as well. So those are my two favorites, the Model 2s. This is from Pro B-Man 5. Questions for Mike, huh? What do you do for a career job? I said that a minute ago. I do tax exemptions for businesses and schools who are looking to either upgrade or move into the township that I work for. It's very detailed because you have to do a lot with the state, with New York State, a lot of reporting, and it has to go in a certain order or else it doesn't happen. So they go like under our umbrella or our wing, and that's how they get the exemptions. How do you budget for your gaming collection? I just kind of keep myself in check and know not to overspend. I know some people just don't care. They'll go like, oh, that's $500. I don't care. I want it. And they buy it. I'm not like that at all. I look for the cheapest and best deal. I'm pretty fucking frugal. What are your life goals and objectives, gaming or anything otherwise? My life goals. The only thing in the future I look forward to, and this is like 26 years off, is to be retired and kind of spend time with my wife and go on trips and vacations and stuff. in terms of short-term goals, I've kind of accomplished everything I wanted to. I'm at a very good point in my life right now. I know most people wouldn't say that, and it's not that I don't strive for things, it's that I'm happy, able to save up a little bit with my job, my wife working. I like our apartment even though it is a little small. All my family is fairly healthy. I love my little cat daughter, Stella. I'm in a great marriage and a great relationship. That's one thing. I'm not in a marriage and a relationship. Same thing. I love my wife very much. Everything's very great with, everything's great with that. I have nothing really that I just try to have a good time and live life to its fullest and have a good time. That's it. Shock16 wrote, that's it now, Mike, you'll be answering questions for the rest of the year. People start these expecting little questions, then about 3 months later when they're recording this, Q&A part 7, they wish they never asked us. Here's his first question. If you could live in another country, where would you go to live? I always thought Australia looked interesting. I also like Italy a lot. I've never been there, but I'd love to learn Italian. I can get by very, very little, but I would say Australia or Italy. I just always found them really interesting, and I got my Chopper Reed beard going on now, mustache beard thing. So those are probably my two choices. I don't know where in Australia or Italy, I have no idea. Where did you get the name Vampire Mike from? I spelled vampire with a Y, by the way, not an I. The reason I do that is because I think when I was first using the name online, Vampire Mike with an I was taken, so I kept using a Y, and then it stuck. When I would hang out at the tattoo shop, all the time I was learning to tattoo for my friends. I was hanging out there and helping them out a little bit in the shop in terms of customers and stuff. Not tattooing there, but just helping them out. I would call ahead of time, say, hey, I'm coming down to the shop to hang out, you guys want a cup of coffee? And they'd say, hey, Mike's coming down with coffee or food or whatever. Mike who? Because there's tons of Mikes that come through there, and some of them even work there. Vampire Mike. That came from me loving vampires and vampire movies. This is before fucking Twilight. My favorite vampire movie is The Lost Boys, by the way. I have tattoos, 2 of them actually, of vampire women. One I call Star. It's a cartoony looking picture of a vampire girl looking into the moon with like a candelabra. And the other one is Chastity from Chaos Comics with blood dripping down her face holding onto an ankh. So that's how I got the name Vampire Mike, because they referenced it because I have a vampire tattoo. It's stuck. That's how they know me. If I call now and say my last name, they go who. So I have to say Vampire Mike. So it always stuck, and I just kept using it. Okay, he wants me to say something in my best. Shock16 wants me to say something in my best British accent. So here we go. That brew were real tasty. Shame you had no jammy dodgers though. Jammy dodgers. I don't even know what that means. Is that mashed potatoes? French fries? What the fuck is that? It's for me, man. You like dags? That brew were I can't even do it. That brew were real tasty. Shame you had no jammy dodgers though. Is that British? Is that Australian? I don't even know what I'm doing. I watch a lot of Snatch. That's one of my favorite movies. So maybe I don't know. Maybe I sound like a pikey. This question's from Minx36, whose picture is one of my favorite TV shows. The Young Ones. Looks like you got some great tattoos, mate. So I'll ask, how many do you have? Honestly, I don't know anymore. I don't get like one tattoo here or there. I get like pieces and then sleeves. So I don't remember how many times I've sit down for tattoos. I don't remember how many hours. It's been like a lot of sessions of like 5 hours, 5 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours. So I don't remember. I have both sleeves. I have my chest on both sides. I have something on my stomach. I have something on my foot, and then I have a half leg sleeve. I guess it's a leg sleeve or pant leg or whatever the fuck it's called. Below my knee down to around my whole calf. What is your favorite? Again, it's probably my gorilla on my chest. That's one of my more recent ones. It's not that it's my favorite, but I do really think it looks great. Which was the most painful? That's a tie between 2. The right side of my collarbone was very, very bad on my chest. Very, very bad. The left side really wasn't, which was weird, where the gorilla was. I don't know why. My foot was atrocious. It felt like somebody was fucking hitting me in the hammer, with a hammer on my foot. It was horrible. The top of my foot. Very, very bad. Probably gonna go at the top of the foot. It was excruciating. and it wasn't huge. It's like, you know, this big, but it's also color. So I think they had to really, you know, you have to really pack in color, unlike black and gray, which is a little more fluttery. Very, very, very painful. This question's from Veter Films. Are there films and games that you love but everyone else seems to hate? And on the flip side, are there any films and games that everyone seems to adore but you aren't a fan of? The first film that comes to mind is probably Revolver. It's one of my favorite movies. It's by Guy Ritchie. Everyone expected like another Snatch or Rock and Rolla type film. Or I guess Snatch, I don't know if Rock and Rolla was out at that point. And instead it was like this psychological, Kabbalah-laced thinking movie. A lot of like hidden meanings and symbolism. Love that movie. That's probably one of my favorites. I also love like a lot of cheesy and B movies. So like the video game based movies like Double Dragon and Mortal Kombat and shit. Mario Brothers. I love all that stupid shit. So movies that I hate that everyone loves. Can't think of any off the top of my head. Besides like that teen stuff like Twilight and stuff, I really can't think of any off the top of my head. I try to kind of go in with an open mind. At least I find something redeeming about most films. Here goes Interghost's question. He's a great YouTuber. Check him out, by the way. He writes, subscription size doesn't matter, mate. I always say you can have 1 or 2 great mates, and they will mean much more than 100 friends that mean nothing to you. Just look at Facebook and people that have thousands of friends, quote unquote. He's very right. First question, where would you like your channel to be in the future? I'm having a lot of fun now, so if this keeps happening and it just keeps growing, I just keep interacting with people who are like-minded, I'm happy with that. I'm very content in life and with my channel overall. What channels do you watch religiously and why? Yours, Interghost, is one of them. I also really enjoy Adam Koralik, Dreamcastic channel, Keithy Huntington. You know, let me go back to my YouTube feed, I'll tell you. Sega Bits, I really love a lot. My friend AJ, what's up AJ? Grub Gun, I love a lot, he's very funny. JHMDF, which is the video game sellers channel. Lawn Boys Post 1975 with a little jingle. Sega Driven, I mean, there's a lot. Israel Pacheco, Tino777, Shock 16, Chemuso, there's a ton of channels I really like to watch. Woodland 37 with his beautiful kids and his daughter always knocking over their drinks. Kids Show Ryukin, Sega of My House. I mean, I have so many channels I really love. Do you see YouTube friends as real life friends? Yes. I don't think you need a physical relationship. I don't mean that sexually, obviously. I don't think you need a physical friendship for you to be friends. Like I said, I had my friend Angelo from Erie, Pennsylvania, and met him through the internet. We became friends. We talked for years. I went and visited him. So I consider you guys friends, even though you're just through YouTube. If I'm ever in your area, you're getting a motherfucking phone call. If I'm in Canada, Mark, you're getting a call. Sega of My House, Retros Cards Reviews. Keep your motherfucking couch open. Yeah, I would go to a hotel, but I would visit your asses. If I'm in the UK, Interghost, Shemuso, Shocks. You're all getting phone calls. Keep this shit in mind, yo. Bring me to all your watering holes, because it's happening. Great channel, Mike, and keep it up. Well, thank you very much. Oh, and Keithy Huntington, if I'm in Oklahoma ever, come to your house. We're gonna hang out, yo. We're gonna fucking sing country music and shit with Tori. Another great channel I go to all the time. See, I can't remember all the names. The Sega Saturn guy. This is my friend Cody. Very nice guy. Sega Saturn guy asks, your favorite video of mine? I gotta plug myself somehow, right? Favorite video. He did a really good video on the Nokia N-Gage. When I worked at GameStop, I always looked at the Nokia N-Gage. I made fun of it, but I kind of found it intriguing. I never bought one, but there was a Pocket Kingdom MMO type game and a MMO type or an online military shooter type game, like a top-down isometric view. Can't think of the name of that one, but that's probably my favorite video of yours. Check out the Sega Saturn guy. He's excellent. Great videos. What are some games you're looking for right now? I want to get D2 on the Dreamcast. I want to get Outrigger. I want to get Unreal Tournament. I want to get POD Speed Zone. I really want to play Skies of Arcadia eventually. I'd like to pick up Evolution, but it's not on my top list. Now that I got a GameCube again, I want to get Killer 7. I really want Phantasy Star Universe 2 or whatever to come out on the Vita. I think that's about it. Shenmue 3, eventually, please. Shenmue 3, please. What was the next question? If you were to get another cat, what would you name him or her? We tried getting another cat at one point. It was very sad because Stella's like our baby. She's very spoiled. She has the run of the house. She's always talking and running around and doing what the fuck she wants. She's very close to us. We tried intermingling another cat with our cat at one point, and this cat was more of an indoor cat, which our cat's just indoor. We don't believe in outdoor cats in terms of letting them outside. They weren't fighting physically, but they were hissing at each other, and our cat Stella wasn't sleeping, wasn't eating, wasn't acting like herself, and that's not like her. She will eat no matter what. So we ended up bringing her back to the shelter, and they eventually adopted her out again. Or at least I hope they didn't lie to me, and they just told me that. But she was very sweet. We named her Sophia, I believe. It was very sad. We were very, very upset dropping her off. My wife is a veterinary technician. We both have very big hearts in terms of animals. My wife is a vegetarian. I'm what you would call, I hate putting a title on it, but a pescatarian. I just eat seafood in terms of meat. I don't eat any other meat. I started that about 6 months or so ago, maybe a little less. I had cut out beef and pork and lamb years ago, and I cut out the rest of it more recently. I feel better, and I feel better mentally and morally, because my own moral reasons, I just couldn't do it. So that's segueing off the topic. But I would love to have more cats, maybe in the future, but for now, Stella is the queen bee, and she does not like other pets. The next question is from Marks Horsberg. Horsberg? I'm sorry, I'm so bad with last names. Nice video, mate. Here's mine. What is your least favorite system? Probably the Virtual Boy. It really fucking hurt my eyes. I had it for a short period of time. I found it to be kind of finicky. I didn't like how heavy it was and the stupid stand. And the games weren't so great for me. Probably the Virtual Boy. What system do you wish you could own? It used to be a Neo Geo when I was a kid, like the home console. That the MVS, the AES, I don't remember what the difference was. Now, I almost bought a Saturn recently, but got it. How about that prototype of the Genesis 32X thing they had, was the Pluto or the Neptune or whatever? That looks kind of cool. I would like something that was very stable, that ran Sega CDs and did other things. So something like that would be really cool. Like a homemade version. Whose signature is that on the Reservoir Dogs picture behind you? Well, he's talking about over there. There's a Reservoir Dogs picture. It's actually not signed. Sorry. I wish it were. If it were signed, I would probably like Michael Madsen. He's cool. But no, it's not signed. If you had to, if it was possible, would you rather have no tattoos or no games? That's a good question. I'd want to keep both, obviously. Jesus. It's different. Games cost money and they have memories associated with them. Tattoos cost money, pain, time. They also have memories associated with them. Jesus. Maybe no tattoos? I'm not really sure. That's a really rough question. Next questions. Let me wait, the camera's about to switch over and I don't want it to have too much of a stutter. At 20 minutes it ends up going to the next section, and there we go. Hey man, this is from Darth Sarkarn. Hey man, why does Stella make noise when she is off camera? She seems quiet when she's visible. Actually, if you're watching a lot of the videos, she's pretty loud. She just talks a lot. I always say she's either Italian or Jewish or something. I'm Italian American, and I have very many friends who are Jewish. They just, the old timers I'm talking about, I'm being facetious, I'm kidding. They're always yelling and screaming, and that's how she is. She's always fucking eating and screaming and yelling. She runs the house, she runs in here, she's always yelling, very talkative. I don't know, she's just nuts. She's very funny. All my friends like her. She's got like missing teeth because she had this dental problem, so some of her teeth are missing. So she's just a humorous cat. She's really nuts. I love her a lot. Just like my child. Most expensive title you own? Probably one of those Sega CD titles, like Mad Dog McCree 2, Earthworm Jim, Cobra the Space Adventure, Keo Flying Squadron, Snatcher. Probably one of those. Probably missing a couple, but... Oh, Radical Rex. That was expensive too, right? Not a lot of Sega Saturn videos. How come? I don't own a Saturn anymore. I never ever owned a Master System, and I can't see myself playing something that old any longer. And I owned a Saturn for a short period of time. I feel like it hasn't aged very well, so I was going to rebuy it recently, but the expense of buying it with a bunch of games, buying a Pro Action Replay card, I'd want to get a VCD card just to check out. It just seems very expensive for me, so I just didn't bother. That's why. Did you dislike Nintendo a lot when you were younger? No, I really was a big fan as a child of the original Nintendo, the Super Nintendo. The N64 I liked, but then I grew out of it. I felt it just has not aged well at all. The GameCube is okay. I have one now. I haven't played it yet because I'm waiting on the controller and the AV cable in the mail, but the GameCube's pretty cool. I didn't like that Nintendo didn't go online with it. That was the problem for me. Or online with it much. The next question is from a great YouTuber who always writes to me, Ranger Harris. Super Nintendo or Sega Genesis? Oof. In terms of RPGs, Super Nintendo. I don't know, man. In terms of that era, I might say Super Nintendo. Even though I love the Sega CD more than the Super Nintendo. So, if you were to add the Sega CD onto that, Sega CD. What is your favorite game? Ever? I have a ton. I mean, Deadly Premonition, Earthbound, Shadowrun, the Super Nintendo, the Genesis, and the 360, Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy 3/6, Double Switch, Night Trap, Snatcher, Wirehead. Silent Hill series is pretty cool. I'm trying to go through my book in my mind. River City Ransom, Double Dragon, Mortal Kombat, Gex. Jeez, there's got to be more. Army of Two series I really like a lot. It's just fun, goofy fun. I like unique games. I like games that are different. That's why I like Deadly Premonition. It's just weird. I like that. Fire Pro Wrestling, Shenmue, Omicron, any of the Street Fighter games or Mortal Kombat games. Yeah, I would say those are some of them. I can't think of everything, but yeah, those are some of them. It's a good selection right there. Should the FPS genre die? I like a lot of FPS games. I love the Shadowrun series on the 360. It's one of my favorite team-based shooters. I like Team Fortress type stuff. Army 2 is third person, but I like that a lot. I'm trying to think what other first-person shooter games I love. The Darkness. Oh, I love The Darkness. That's one of my favorite games. Darkness 1 is amazing. 2 is very good, but 1 is where it's at. Emotional game, really great. So no, I like the FPS genre. I just think it shouldn't be hopped upon like it's the next fucking coming. Do you like hair metal, Motley Crue or Poison? Not in particular. Never got into that era. My brother liked Motley Crue and stuff when I was a kid, Dr. Feelgood and all that. Never really been my bag. I like old heavy metal, like Loudness. So yeah, Loudness is hair metal, right? A Japanese band. I like Loudness. These questions are by Kevin Twiner or Twinner. Why does your cat scream at you? She's just very vocal. She just yells a lot. She talks. She always wants to eat. She always wants to talk and, you know, and chat you up. She's got a great yelling voice. So, does your YouTube account make your life better? I find that I have more confidence in terms of speaking on camera. In real life, I'm still the same person. I still am pretty good at approaching people and being talkative. Yeah, I like it. I love meeting all you old people on here and talking to them, sharing interests, trading stuff, trading ideas. I always find it funny that people always say like, oh, so-and-so sent me this for free. That's never happened to me. No one's ever said, oh, by the way, Mike, I want to send you blah, blah, blah. So that's funny, but not that I want anything for free. I just think it's funny. Yes, I love having my YouTube account. I'd be very upset if YouTube threw me off. Have you played Defiance? Defiance. Is that the... No, that's Injustice. What the hell is Defiance? What the fuck is Defiance? It sounds very familiar. No. It looks really familiar, but I haven't played it. Pulse-pounding combat shooter? No, looks interesting. Might have to check that out. Is it online? Tell me if it's online. Maybe I'll play it one day. I like multiplayer games a lot online. If I'm not on your Xbox Live or your PSN, add me. I have a Vita and I have a 360. And I have a Dreamcast with a broadband adapter I could play Phantasy Star and Quake 3 with. Does it make you, his next question is, does it make you mad that extra stuff is on the game you purchased and you have to pay more money to get it unlocked, maps, armor, etc.? I never really thought about it. I know they made a big deal out of it with one of the Capcom games, I think, one of the fighting games. Was it Street Fighter Cross Tekken or something? It's annoying. If it's not downloadable and it's on the disc, it's kind of frustrating that you have to pay to unlock it. I'm neither here nor there. I don't really buy much DLC unless I really want something. This is not a nice question. Does your cat need more attention or is she just a needy bitch? That's not nice. She's not a bitch. I don't like that question. But, she's pretty needy. You know, she likes to talk a lot and chat and have things her own way. She's very selfish and having her own way. The next question is from G-Unit Kalima. Hey there, friend. Have you ever purchased a used system you really wanted or needed but only found it partially worked, turned on, or didn't play games, or had broken audio, etc.? The Virtual Boy I bought would flicker once in a while, but it must have just been a loose connection. Recently, I bought one of those retro duos that has the Super Nintendo and the Nintendo built in, and that used to fucking... the power plug was bent, I guess, so much that if you it didn't work unless it was bent hard under the system. How fucking dumb is that? So when she said it to me, I said to her, did you not try this out? If you move it and it's in normal stationary position, the system shuts off. You have to like bend it, hold it. How did you have this system? You know, like just bent under the, so that was annoying. So I had to send that back for a refund and buy a new one. So yeah, that happened to me recently. That was a fucking bitch. What is your favorite game for the original PlayStation? I really love Psychic Detective, which was also on the 3DO. That's a great FMV game. Fox Hunt is another great one. Street Fighter, the movie, the game, I really love. It's really cheesy. I like Slamscape a lot because one of my favorite bands, I forgot. Damn it. God Lives Underwater is one of my favorite bands ever. It's a great industrial band. Sadly, David Riley, the lead singer, passed away a few years ago. They did a soundtrack to the game Slamscape. The game isn't so good, but they did the soundtrack, and the soundtrack rocks. Suikoden 1 and 2. Wu-Tang Shaolin Style is really fun. I think that's about it. I'm trying to think of other PS1 games. I just saw them today because I went through my box of old shit. Discworld 1 and 2. I like a lot of the quirky titles. I like FMV games a lot. Should there be a Mega Man Legends 3? Tread carefully with this answer, my friend. Ha ha ha. I never played any of the Mega Man Legends game. I wanted to play 1 when it came out, but I never did. So, sure, if you want it, fuck it. Let's put it out. This question is from... Actually, there's 2 questions left. 2 sets of questions. This is from White Joe from Japan. His screen name is XCornMuffinX. He is also one of the YouTube channels I religiously watch. Check him out. He does a lot of great Japanese stuff. And he's very funny, and he eats food on camera too. That sounds kind of gluttonous, but he tries out strange food on camera, and then we laugh at him. All of the questions I have are either wildly inappropriate or about hair care, neither of which you can answer, LOL. Fuck you, Joe. I'm just kidding. Joe makes fun of me because he sees my hair is receding, and he's got a great head of hair, and he does all these funny Japanese haircuts, so he breaks my balls. Well, hey buddy, can you grow a chopper-reed mustache like this? Probably not. Seriously though, here are some of my questions. Have you ever played any tabletop RPGs? Yes. I've played Vampire once or twice. I have a bunch of books inside. I played Dungeons & Dragons 3. I have a bunch of those books. I've played Shadowrun. I have the most recent book on that. Tabletop games. I like RPGs. Oh, I played a lot of Delta Green, which is a campaign to Call of Cthulhu, I believe. It's kind of like X-Files, but with like aliens and weird cults and shit. Even though that is what X-Files is about. Great game. We had a great group. We had a lot of fun. The problem was I had invested, you know, you go there and I'd want to spend 2-3 hours and I'd get really tired and want to just fucking leave. You can't do that to the GM because they're, you know, sitting there for hours putting together this big campaign. It would last like 5 or 6 hours. I'd be starving. I'd be tired. It felt like a job almost. So I eventually stopped going. And the store closed too recently, which was very sad. But great group of guys. So yeah, I've tabletop game before. It's fun. And I've also played Cyberpunk 2021, so that was a lot of fun too. What is your favorite FMV game? Ooh, this one's tough. I love Psychic Detective and Fox Hunt. Psychic Detective's on the 3DO and the PS1 and the PC. Fox Hunt is, I believe, only on PlayStation 1. It might be on the PC. Wirehead, Double Switch. Night Trap. Fahrenheit's kind of interesting. Ground Zero Texas is one of my favorites. I'm trying to think what else. FMV games. Oh, shit. Phantasmagoria 2 on the PC I love a lot. I didn't really get into the first one, but I like the second one a lot. That's one of my favorites. Man, there's a lot of them. Then they came out with ones more recently on the PC, like in 06 and 07 I haven't played. But I love FMV games. Twisted is a board game. It's FMV elements on the 3DO. It's a great game. What was your first game? One of my first games I remember is Mario Brothers on the NES and Kung Fu. They're both okay. I don't know how much they hold up for me now, but the next set of questions is from KTilla23. Here are some questions for you. Do you watch any sports? No. I watch TNA, Impact Wrestling. Once in a while I'll catch WWE, but I don't like really the storylines right now. I fucking love ECW. Old ECW, not when WWE bought it, even though some of those matches are okay. All the old stuff. They just came out with this new documentary called Barbed Wire City. Really great documentary. I love old ECW. I have all the pay-per-views downloaded. Don't tell them I said that. ExtremeTorrents.com, ExtremeWrestlingTorrents.com. I've watched half of them already, so I love old ECW, Raven, Tommy Dreamer, Sandman, all those guys, you know, all the old luchas, when Chris Jericho was there, the Pitbulls, Too Cold Scorpio, New Jack. So that's the only form of sports I watch. When I was a kid, I liked basketball. I love the Knicks. I haven't watched it since Patrick Ewing left. That broke my heart when I was a kid. I loved Patrick Ewing. He's still one of my favorite players ever. When he left the Knicks, they didn't really have a chance after that. Plus, he was getting older and he didn't win them a ring. And that was about it. I stopped after that. What kind of music do you like? I like to think I'm pretty eclectic in terms of my musical taste. I love Motown and soul, some disco, heavy metal, death metal, rap, rock, obscure weird shit, industrial, grindcore. They have all these fucking subsidiaries and subcategories in terms of metal music. You know, black metal, like Dimmu Borgir is one of my favorite bands too. Dimmu Borgir, you know, Vader, all those other bands I named before, Godless Underwater, Suicidal Tendencies, Sade, Harry Melvin and the Blue Notes, Teddy Pendergrass, Al Green. I mean, I love all types of music. I really do. Danzig, I love all types of stuff. It's kind of just whatever tickles my fancy, you know. What is your favorite RPG of all time? This one's tough. Earthbound's up there, Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy 3/6, Suikoden 1 and 2. Persona 4 Golden was very good. I would replay that. That was very good. Eventually. I can't play it right now because I just beat it. Omicron the Nomad Soul was very good. Shenmue, but they're not strict RPGs like grinding and shit. Is that it? I guess that's it. I can't think of any other RPGs right now. There's probably more. I just can't think of them currently. So those are some of my favorites. What is the worst game you've ever played? This one's tough. I usually try to find at least something kind of appealing about most games. Worst game I ever played? I honestly don't know. I can't leave the video off on that. I'm gonna think of something shitty. Worst game I ever played? Hydlide on the NES. When I was a kid, you know, you go to the store. There's a store down the block from my house next to a bodega in the Bronx. And you rent shit, and you know, on Nintendo, and you look at the back of the box, and they totally fucking lie to you. The front of the box looked awesome. The back of the box looks like shit, if they even had screenshots. And then, like, you bring it home, it would suck balls. Hydlide. That game was terrible. What were they thinking? That was just a bad, like, weird RPG. It just sucked. It was so difficult. I hate when games are fucking overly difficult, especially now that I'm like almost 30. I don't have much time for gaming, so when I do, it's like I don't want to fucking grind for like hundreds of hours. I just want to play a game and have fun. God damn it! And that's it. That's all the questions. Everyone, thank you so much for all the questions. I had a lot of fun. I apologize that this video is very long. That's your fault. I had a lot of fun. This was great. Maybe I'll do another one in the future. And hopefully you found some interesting things about me. And, you know, comment and subscribe and blah, 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 blah. Thank you, everyone, for always watching my stuff, for being my friends, for talking to me, for being positive people and positive people who I'm surrounded with in my life. One of the things I've learned as I've gotten older is don't surround yourself with anyone negative who brings you down. Life is way too short to deal with a bunch of bullshit you don't have to while there's a lot of negative and bad things in life as it is. So that was my 2 cents. Thank you guys. It's Vampire Mike from SegaCDUniverse.com. Be good.